let's go back to Lamar Jackson. You don't think that it was calculated. You think it was just coincidental.
No, I think it was calculated.
Oh,
Like, I mean,
okay.
I think, Dan, if you're Lamar and you've been hearing for, 6 weeks now, how you're stumbling around and you have no idea what you're doing and you need to hire an agent. Like, if you have to hear all of that over and over and over again, how you're messing this whole thing up and blowing all of this money, like, you might want to do something to send a message, right? And you might want to do something that's cold and cunning and calculating like a team would do, right? So, like, just to set the scene for you yesterday, it was about 7:45 a.m. local time that John Harbaugh sat down at his table with the media around him. And obviously, because of the situation, he's got a big crowd. I think it was about 90 seconds after that Lamar Jackson sent that tweet out. And if you think about it, like, the trade request didn't just go in, it went in over 3 weeks ago. So is it coincidental that it's happening in this 1 hour? No, you know what I mean? It's like John Harbaugh was sitting there for actually not even an hour, a half hour with the media. And 90 seconds into that half hour, he hit send on the tweet. So,
but what purpose does it serve, though, Albert?
It sends a message. I mean, it makes, like, the whole thing is like, I feel like a lot of times in these situations, the way teams make players uncomfortable is they sit there and do nothing. And they say, eventually you're going to squirm and eventually you're going to move. It's a negotiating tactic. So if they're trying to make you feel uncomfortable, well, then it's on you to make them feel uncomfortable back, And so I do think that this was an effort to turn up the heat on the Ravens by Lamar Jackson and his camp. And it's a very, very small circle. And I actually look at it like that was probably a smart thing to do. Like, from a negotiating standpoint, that's what a team would do to a player, right? Like, they would do something to make the player feel uncomfortable if they felt like the player had the advantage in that situation. And so I guess after 3 months of there not being, enough movement, and, we've all heard about what's happened over the last week with, an advisor of Lamar's calling around to teams, and I can verify that's happened. I think it just got to the point where Lamar felt like he had to do something to turn the heat up on the Ravens. This, I think, was a pretty smart way to do it.